The new Hot 105.5, PEI's #1 hit music station. My name is Morgan. I am so excited because right now I have Tegan from Tegan and Sara on the line. I have been a fan of this band for years and years. They got me through high school. And Tegan, I just want to say that I am a huge fan of this new poppier direction you guys have taken with the new album.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And we've been playing Closer pretty much every 2 hours here on Hot. And Heartthrob was released 3 days ago. How has the reaction been so far?
It's been really good. We sort of knew that things were going to be pretty good because we've been playing Closer and a few other tracks from the record live, and a lot of the streams and stuff have been up for a couple of weeks, and so we had a general sense of what it was going to be like. But it's been really awesome, very overwhelmingly good, and we are so proud and excited. And I'm going to totally ruin this quote, but recently I did read. I don't read a lot of press or reviews, but someone forwarded this one thing onto me. In a roundabout way, what they complimented on us on is the idea that we've sort of proven that you don't have to be stuck in one genre if you want. After 14 years, you can reinvent yourself. It's got so much more to do with the songs and your relationship to your fan base than anything else. And I think Sarah and I have such a wonderful relationship with our audience, and they have come to us from so many different places and so many different interests. And especially in the last few years, a lot of our fan base has come from collaborative work that we've done with other artists. So
yes.
It's really amazing that they're embracing the new songs.
I love it. Now, do you think that taking kind of the baby steps, working with Tiesto, David Guetta, did that help ease any nervousness about moving from indie rock to a pop record?
Definitely. I mean, we never intended on, making... it was never now we're at Heartthrob, we'll, shrug off our indie roots and go for the mainstream and pop. It was more like, wow, the last 5 years we've been doing all this collaborative work, and that's the part of the industry that's showing interest in us, not to slag on indie rock, but it's not, it's not really a collaborative scene, at least it hasn't been for us, and, there wasn't necessarily pride in being obscure. I sort of felt like our music is supposed to be consumed, by anyone who wants to consume it. And there was just something about the way that the mainstream and these audiences from these more mainstream artists were embracing us that just seemed attractive all of a sudden. It was like, well, if there's a way to manage to write really great songs that still have, creative and artistic integrity, but also access a bigger audience, why not? And it's been such a amazing couple years for music and crossover. I mean, you have bands ranging from Mumford & Sons and Lumineers and Fun and Goche and Florence and the Machine and the XX and all these amazing kind of alternative acts that have broken into the mainstream. And it felt like a time in music where you can mix really poppy, catchy production and melodies with deep and intensely, meaningful music. So, Sarah and I just kind of dove in, but it was definitely like a 5-year process.
A lot of pop music, even stuff that we play, it's not written by the performer. A lot of times there's no heart behind it. Does Tegan and Sara want to change that about pop music?
Definitely. I mean, it sort of lends itself to what I was just saying about all those bands that sort of have been infiltrating. If anything, it's only put a magnifying glass over pop music, and it's really become clear, what's real, what feels real, and the bands that have integrity and artistic integrity, and the bands that are sort of more manufactured. And I think that, for Sarah and I, being women and being alternative, being queer, being Canadian, the idea of helping to change the way mainstream music and mainstream culture looks at pop music, gay people, women, it's way too appealing. My ambitious side just won't let me not try. I just feel like, why not try to make music in the world a bit better than it is, so.
Exactly. Now, you and your sister, you guys live in separate cities when you aren't recording. Do you miss each other during this time at all because you're twins, or is it the best break ever?
It's both, honestly. I mean, I think that we've been doing this for so long that there's an instinct to want to take space when we're not touring and traveling and working. And I think that because we're twins and because we enjoy each other's company, when we are in the same city, we just naturally end up hanging out. We have a lot of the same friends. So it's kind of hard to get space from each other. So living across the country from each other has actually probably been really helpful. And it's probably why our relationship has become so much healthier and happier, is because we are sort of forced to not see each other all the time. So it is truly a bit of both.
Now, I love the title of the album, and obviously you two are heartthrobs, but which celebrities right now are your heartthrobs?
Oh, man. Well, I've been, joking. I think people think I'm joking, but I've been saying, I love Daniel Craig. I think he's the best James Bond. I think he's so hot. His wife, Rachel Weisz, is so hot, too. Between the two of them, I wish I was a teenage girl because I would have them all over my walls.
Cool. I want to get into some fun stuff. I am really into the show Girls, and I feel like your new album would fit perfectly on it. What TV shows are you most into right now?
Well, Girls is definitely a big one, and Lena reached out to us and asked us to cover a song for this season. So the soundtrack just came out. We covered a Rolling Stone song called Fool to Cry. I think it's later on in the season. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I want to say it's maybe in an episode later on in the season. But we're massive fans of that show. I think Lena is, not to quote her, but I think she truly is a voice of a generation, certainly a part of my generation, and I just love her. I also really love Parenthood. I am a sucker for The Good Wife, Pretty Little Liars. We have a lot of downtime, so I watch a lot of TV, and my new current obsession is Nashville. I think it's so good. The music on it is so good too. Even if you find it a bit soap opera-y, I just find it to be so awesome.
Cool. Now, for the past few days, I've noticed that Katy Perry has been tweeting about how much she loves you guys. The new record, Do You Love Katy Perry Back?
You know what? I really do. And, Sarah and I have been saying that when we started writing Heartthrob, we were feeling very nostalgic, so we were listening to a lot of 80s and 90s music, like early Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Duran Duran, Pet Shop Boys, New Order, Ace of Base, Erasure, but I was sort of juxtaposing all of that music, with a lot of current new music. I think there's so many, amazing alternative acts that have crossed over, but a lot of the acts that are currently in pop mainstream, like Kelly Clarkson and Rihanna and Alicia Keys and Katy Perry, I find them really inspiring. I think that, they're human, but they are kind of awesome. I think that a lot of them are really great role models, and they're really strong, and I know that a lot of them have incredible business sense, and I like a lot of their music. So, yeah, when Katy Perry tweeted about us, I was high-fiving myself. I was in my hotel room. I was like, yes, awesome. Because, she has this really cool audience of, a lot of, it's very diverse, but it's a lot of young people, and it's a lot of people who feel fringe. She's got a lot of youngsters. She really, I saw her movie in 3D in the theater. I love her, and her audience seems to really feel connected to her, even though she's so different than them in a strange way, and I really thought that there was a lot of probably common ground between us, so.
I've heard that you guys want to make the live show different than what it has been. What can we expect from that?
Well, a big part of what we wanted with Heartthrob was a record that we could play live. A lot of Sainthood was really amazing, but, it was a long record, and a lot of the songs were actually quite, almost felt sort of like deep cuts, and so it wasn't necessarily great to just play all the songs. The audience wanted a lot of older music, and our goal with Heartthrob was that people would love the song so much. It's not a long record. It's only 35 minutes, so that we could hopefully infuse our show with all of the hits from our old records with this new record, and it would kind of update our sound. And, we don't want to lose the part of our show where we interact and banter and have that intimacy with the audience, but we really still wanted to have that and take the show to the next level. We really love playing live, and we wanted to sort of feel really excited to be out on stage again. So we really stepped it up. The show so far has been going really well. It's a long set. It's a lot of music. We're playing 16 old songs and the whole new record, and there's a lot of chatter, and so far the audience seems to be really loving it. So we're feeling really excited.
You have so many fans on PEI. Are you ever going to come back?
I feel so bad. I've been doing I just want to say for the record, I've been doing a lot of interviews with the East Coast provinces of Canada, and I'm making a blanket apology that it's partly our fault, but it is a perplexing debate that happens every record that we desperately want to get over there, but it always comes down to, and this is really boring and it's industry speak, but it comes down to the fact that we haven't in the past necessarily had a ton of radio or press, and so there hasn't been much demand. So there's these diehard fans that are waiting for us to come, and no demand. But thankfully, with Heartthrob and Closer, it seems like the demand for Tegan and Sara is gotten more intense and more exciting. So I promise, I give my word that even if it's just Sarah and I playing acoustic guitar, we will get to the East Coast provinces. I feel like I'm one of a small few that I've seen this country from coast to coast, and I know how beautiful it is over there. The last time we were there was like 2003, and I feel terrible about it. Terrible.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. Before I let you go, would you like to intro Closer for us?
Hey, this is Tegan from Tegan and Sara, and you are listening to our new single, Closer, on the new Hot 105.5.